Hi all, this is Paul Zalazak with Leather Wranglers, and in this little short video I'm going to talk about the different parts of the swivel knife and kind of the whys and wherefores of the differences and the features and advantages to each one of those. So there's basically three parts to every swivel knife. There's a blade, there's a barrel, and then there's a yoke. And I'm going to cover the blade part first. So in our SK-3 line of blades, we basically make 5 different sizes, starting with the 1/2 inch blade. This is the largest blade that we make. And then we go down to the 3/8 inch blade, and then a 1/4 inch blade. And then we go down in 1/16 after that. So we have a 3/16 of an inch blade. And then we have the smallest blade that we make, which is our 1/8 inch angle blade. Now typically I make this blade only as an angle blade because it's too difficult to run as a flat blade. You keep plowing the front edge of the blade into the leather when you're carving. So to avoid that, I just make this one as an angle blade. This blade is particularly well suited for doing stuff like lettering or real fine detail work in your figure carving, eyes, ears, noses, things like that. It also works really great for doing floral carving on small things like 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch hat bands or wristbands or something like that. So anywhere that you need real fine detail work, this is the blade. It's not going to work very well for doing larger stuff because it kind of gets squirrely at the cutting edge because a little bit of movement at the barrel turns into a lot of movement down there at the blade end of business. So it's not going to work real well for doing like long, smooth cuts. That's when you want to get into a bigger blade. Now hands down the most popular blade is the 1/4 inch blade. And by the way, all of our blades can be ground as an angle blade or a flat blade. And I can grind them extra thin on custom orders as well if that's need be. But hands down the most popular blade is the 1/4 inch flat blade. The 1/4 inch angle blade is probably the second most popular. Now another thing about our blades is that on the shank, where it goes into the barrel, on one edge of the shank, I grind it rounded. It has a little bit of a radius to it, so that helps keep it centered in the middle of the barrel. Now on the other side of that shank, it's ground flat, and this is where you would put the set screw so that the force of the set screw keeps that rounded edge centered in the barrel and snug up against the inside of that barrel. So whenever you change blades in and out on our swivel knife, be sure and put the set screw on the flat edge. Now the majority of my blades, again, come as a 1/16 of an inch thick. I can grind them a little thinner, and I do have some stock that's a little bit thicker. Now we'll move on to the barrels. I basically have 2 barrel sizes. We make our barrels in a 3/8 inch diameter and a 1/2 inch diameter. The most popular barrel size is the 3/8 inch diameter in combination with a 1/4 inch blade. That is hands down the most popular combination. The advantage to having a 3/8 inch barrel is that it takes less finger motion to get a certain amount of rotation at the blade than it does with a 1/2 inch barrel. Being that you have a larger diameter on the 1/2 inch barrel, you have to use more finger motion to get the same amount of movement down at the blade. Now, the trade-off there is that with a smaller diameter barrel, you have to have a little bit more strength than you do with the 1/2 inch barrel. So if you have arthritis or something, weaker hands where, having that extra little bit of leverage is to your advantage, then the 1/2 inch barrel will do you favors. If you've got good, strong hands and no arthritis and no issues at all, and you're going to be doing a lot of floral type carving, figure type carving, belts, wallets, notebooks, the 3/8 inch barrel is for you. If you're going to be doing larger stuff like saddle work, big flowers, saddlebags, larger pictures, desktops, those kind of things, then a 1/2 inch barrel is going to work better for that. Now, to complicate that even more, we have 9 different colors in our SK-3 line. So we have Lincoln Green, Seafoam Green, Bordeaux Red, Royalty Blue, Hi-Yo Silver, California Gold, Santa Fe Turquoise, Ultraviolet, and Badlands Black. Then we also have our Al Gould Special Series in both 1/2 inch and 3/8 inch diameters. And the big difference here, other than the obvious bumblebee stripe, is that we do the knurling after anodizing. That way the knurling gives you a much sharper, bitier grip. It's a lot more, how shall we say, slip resistant. And that was something that Al Gould really wanted because his fingers are very callous, so he wanted something that was going to be real grippy. Now this is one of those features that either you like it or you don't. On people who have sensitive fingers, that real sharp pointy bite of the knurling can cause a little bit of discomfort. So if you have sensitive fingertips, this is kind of the barrel you want to avoid. If you're, got real tough fingers and that stuff doesn't bother you at all, then it could be an advantage that would be, to your favor. Okay. So, now we have the 2 different yolks. We have a flat yoke and we have a rounded yoke. The flat yoke is what we also call the traditional yoke, because this is probably what you got on your very first swivel knife. This is the traditional yoke that shows up on all the little starter kits, etc. And this yoke, if you have smaller fingers, will give you a little bit more snug grip, or if you're one of those people that has bigger fingers and you like a snug grip, or if you hold the yoke on the pad of your finger, on the pad of your finger versus the knuckle, this yoke will be the one that will work best for you. If you're one of those who likes to have the yoke on the knuckle, where it's going to sit between 2 pads and you're going to cradle that yoke in that knuckle, then the rounded yoke will do a better job for you. The reason that I even developed this yoke was, again, because of Al Gould. Watching him work his swivel knife, when he pushes and pulls and turns, he likes to slide the yoke in his finger, and he had a flat yoke on his swivel knife, and I thought, well, we can, make something that'll work a little better. So we started making these round yokes, and it also helps if you're going to be doing that push, pull, turn, and all that, and you want that yoke sliding in your finger. So those are the 2 different styles of yokes and the advantages to each one. Now, the most popular combination, we get this, asked this all the time, what is the most popular combination? Well, hands down, the most popular combination is a 1/4 inch blade with a 3/8 inch barrel, and then your choice of yoke, either the flat or the rounded yoke. And another thing about the SK-3 is that, yes, the yoke is adjustable. You can adjust it down to where you have about a 2 1/4 inch effective barrel length, or you can adjust it all the way up. You have about 1 1/4 inch of adjustment. So now you can get it up to about 3 inches and change. Okay? And that's the swivel knife in a nutshell. Thanks for watching.